Let's go over the process of creating an instrument profile for a network rover that uses the GSM module in your receiver to establish an RTK connection. We'll start by creating an instrument profile. I can pick on Select Instrument. I can pick Add Profile to give it a name. First I'll select my make, then my model. I'll specify that I want this to be treated as a rover, and then I'll type in a friendly name for it. In this case, be aware that you can't have any spaces in your name. When I pick Create, my profile is created. Pick Setup Communication to search for and connect to your receiver over Bluetooth. When I open the option, I can select Search. While it's searching, if it cancels, notice how down in the bottom there's a Refresh List button. You can pick that if you need to re-trigger the search. While I'm waiting, I'm checking that my receiver is powered on and that it's discoverable, and I can check its serial number, which I'll see in the list here if it's found. I can identify that is the serial number of my receiver. I select it and I pick Connect. We're now connected to the instrument, and before I set up the other parameters, I can pick on the I button if I want to take a look at my position information. So here I can see the geographic coordinates that are being sent from the receiver. I can confirm that it's an autonomous position right now. If I pick on project coordinates, it'll show me Cartesian coordinates. While I'm connected to this instrument, I can also open up extended options and ask for receiver info if I need to access information such as firmware version or battery state. Now that my Bluetooth connection is established, I can configure other aspects of my instrument profile. Let's pick on Setup Corrections. This will allow me to input the parameters that affect my RTK connection. In this case, I have a SIM card in my receiver, so I'm going to attain internet access through a cellular network from the receiver. I'll go to Select and Set Up Device, and here I'm going to pick GNSS Mobile. I only have one modem in this device, so default will work. APN username and password are values that are provided by your mobile provider. So in this case, I'm using a SIM card from Rogers Communication, and their APN is internet.com. Their username is WAPuser. And their password is the same for all customers, is just WAP. So these are settings that work for my SIM card. Unless you're a Rogers customer, you'll probably need to check a website to find out what the APN username and password are for your provider. Username and password sometimes aren't required. When I pick Done, these values are saved. Next, we'll set up the data source. Before we go into this option, we need to make sure that we have all the information that's been sent to us by the NTRIP service provider. We'll need an IP address, we'll need to select a connection method, we'll have been given a username and a password, and a port number as well. A few notes: the address must be an IP address, it cannot be a URL. And the username and password are unique to you, and they're only used when you select a mount point. I'm going to enter the configuration for my server, but the parameters are going to be hidden from you. When I pick Done, these parameters will be saved. Next, we're going to set up format. In most cases, options are auto-connected as soon as you select a mount point and connect to it. But these options are here in case you're using mount points with special requirements. I'm just going to leave this at auto detect and any. Now that we've configured our RTK link, we can connect to it. So we've now sent the command to the rover to connect to the internet and to find the source table. Here's the source table. I can select an appropriate mount point from the list, and it'll start the connection. Here's an option where you can confirm any special needs for this mount point, but in most cases you just hit confirm and it will auto detect. Now we've established a link to the mount point, but it's a good idea to go back in and finish performing the setup. We'll set the antenna height. And this allows us to select the antenna model if there's more than one. We can refer to the measurement reference point, and we can enter the measured component of the instrument height. The active tolerance can be referenced by picking on the pull down to see what the properties of the current tolerance are, or you can edit the tolerance by picking the further options dialog. Now that I've configured the instrument profile, I can access it several ways. I can pick on select instrument to see all the instrument profiles, or if I'm in the survey or the staking map views, I can either pick the reconnect button in the bottom right or go to select instrument and again access the list of instrument profiles. Let me do a connection, and when it connects it will use the same settings that you had before. After we're connected, I'll just show you how to verify your position and possibly change a mount point.
Float.
Now we're connected. I can look at position information to see what my solution type is. If I wanted to change my mount point, then I'd access corrections and select connect, and this will display the source table, and I can select a different mount point. Or I picked a different mount point and connect. And on the map view, we'll see the measure button in the bottom right corner will always display our solution, and we're looking for RTK for the RTK fix solution. You can also use the observations toolbar to see if your current solution matches your tolerance mode settings.